What's up, everyone? Welcome to another exclusive interview here on PW Ponderings. I'm your host, James Lascuola. My guest today brings a special brand of fashion and fearsome competition to the ring. And today I'm here to let him know it's Everett Connors. Welcome, Everett.
Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Oh man, not much. I'm real excited to have this interview. I've been a real big fan of what you've been doing through the full year, man.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, to kind of give personal context to the interviews like I do, like originally I hadn't heard of you from your in-ring work, but I'd always see your outfit pictures on my timeline. And then I remember GCW announcing you taking on Joey Janela at Fight Forever and was like, whoa, this dude wrestles too? So I mean, from there, it's history. I've enjoyed what you've done through the year. I'm super stoked to hear. Shall we dive straight into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, I mean, for starters, just kind of something recent I found out about, after your second encounter with Davey Richards, which we'll talk about a little later on, but he mentioned that you nearly exited the wrestling business. And I mean, if that's true, what was the reason behind that?
Yeah, so in I think it was 2017, I started in 2013, I started training, and then I had my first match in 2014. And then I was just like on the road constantly. So straight out of high school, I was just on the road. And I just kind of got burnt out. So by like 2017, I was like, I'll probably just end up quitting. And then there's a promotion here, St. Louis Anarchy, and I was just doing them while it was like 2017 to like 2019. I was just wrestling for them, and that's all I really enjoyed. I just really enjoyed that because they just let me do whatever. They just let me do like silly shit. I was doing like these pre-party events where I would like put on magic shows, which I don't fucking know magic. I like put on like a live concert. I did like future readings or whatever, a punch social, and they just let me just be me and just do whatever I wanted, and that was fun to me. Before that, I had like this gimmick. It was like a pretty reckless gimmick, and it was like me trying to be a serious wrestler, and I'm not a serious person. It takes a lot for me to be serious. So whenever I was doing like that serious thing, I was told like, if you want to make it in wrestling, you have to be serious. And so that gimmick kind of just killed wrestling for me, just the fun. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to travel. I was like, I'm just going to end up quitting. And like I said, Anarchy was like, well, you can just come work for us and you can just do whatever you want. You can just do the pre-party stuff. And then I started doing like this pop star gimmick or whatever. And it was just the shit I enjoyed.
And, I mean, I can tell through your work that you're having a great time out there, just like through these many matches that you've had through the year, it feels like each one just keeps getting better than the next. But, starting at that kind of start point, I mentioned, that big match against Joey Janela during Fight Forever. What was it like getting a huge opportunity against someone like Janella who gets TV time and is on these big GCW shows?
And it was crazy. Because I was supposed to originally I was supposed to do another match for Fight Forever. It's crazy how that, like, the whole Fight Forever thing came about. Jonesy, actually, he first saw me from Anarchy, and he pushed for me. Jonesy was like always a supporter, and he's always pushed for me. And he's always like tweeted about like me, and he would always like to retweet, like I put out like these little auditions. I put auditions in quotes on Twitter, and he would always retweet them. He'd always like them. And then John Carlo, who helps out with GCW, he saw him. He followed me, and then he started seeing like retweeting these videos. And then that's how Brett saw him. He saw the videos, and then he tweeted out like, "Let me know about the Let Me Know guy." And then that's like Fight Forever was maybe a few weeks after he tweeted that. And so I originally got hit up for a different match, but I couldn't make it because of work. And I was like, fuck. I mean, there goes that opportunity. And then I believe it was supposed to be Joey Janela versus there was another match that was supposed Elena Black. it was supposed to be Joey Janela versus Lana Black, and then she got signed, so NXT pulled her so she couldn't make it. And then like a week before the show, Jonesy hit me up and he was like, "Hey, can you make it? Like they might do you and Janella." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking be there." I was like, "Yeah." So I got a COVID test and everything, and I just told work I need these days off. And then I got there. It was nerve-wracking because obviously, it's Joey Janela. But once I got there, I was there mostly I was there for like 8 hours. So I had a lot of time to like relax and chill out. And the building was cold, so that I was more focused on trying to stay warm than anything because it was so cold in there. But man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Janella's great. So it was a fucking really fun match, and it's definitely one of my favorites that I've had.
And that match was excellent, and I highly recommend anyone listening that hasn't seen it yet to go check it out after this interview. But post match, Janela cuts this emotional promo. You took him to his limit. How did you feel coming out of that match?
I felt good. Obviously, it was. I think after I felt really good. I think when it ended and everything, I was just trying to. I don't know. I don't know where my head was at, but I don't think I was in the moment or whatever. But it was once I got on. I got all like a bunch of texts and everything. I was like, all right. I guess it went a lot better than I thought. Just because you're gonna always be your biggest critic. So like there were things that I was thinking like, oh, I could have did this better or whatever. There was like something where I was like, oh, I wish I went a little bit quicker on this or whatever. But when it ended and like he cut that, it was cool. It was a cool moment, and I appreciate it obviously a lot. So Janela's the fucking man. I love Janela.
And like I mentioned from there, the rest is history where you're starting to pop up on the map a lot more. And, you're becoming a regular places like JCW. And, one of the big things that I've seen from this run is that you've had not only one match, but 2 matches with the returning Davey Richards on his return tour. What was it like being in the ring with a veteran like Davey twice?
Davey's fucking... there's not enough good things to say about Davey. He is legitimately one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. He's so good. It's insane how good he is. I'm extremely blessed to be able to be in the ring with him twice. He pushes everyone. He's in the ring to the limit. He's just a different breed. He's just a completely different animal than anyone I've ever wrestled. Just the way he thinks, to the way he moves, to how clean and crisp everything is, to the way everything. So those matches have helped me. Just those 2 matches have helped me grow a ton, and realizing that after those matches I can be in the ring and hold my own with someone like Davey Richards. That's a huge confidence boost. So it was really cool. I was really happy with it, and I want to be in there more with him because he's so good. Obviously, he's fucking Davey Richards.
Oh, absolutely. He's got this like incredible style where it's like a mix of US indie and just Japanese wrestling, and really it's one of those things you got to behold.
Yeah, 100%.
But I referenced it just a few moments ago, but you have been a regular in Jersey Championship Wrestling since the relaunch. You've gotten to take on some great competition, but where do you see yourself ranked amongst the JCW roster?
I don't know if I would rank myself anywhere. It's the main focus on Jersey is Charles Mason, just that psycho. It's hard to focus on anything else when he's there. So obviously Jersey is a fantastic place with fantastic people and a fantastic roster. Guys like Jossie and Billy Starks is amazing. But yeah, it's hard to focus on anything like that when got Charles. That dude's just a fucking psychopath. I'm sorry, am I allowed to cuss? I've been cussing.
Go right ahead, man.
All right. I figure I should have asked that first, so I apologize. I'm trying not to cuss as much, but it slips out, so I apologize. But I'm all right. All right.
And if you gotta dig into that vocab to really let them know how you feel about Mason, then just go for it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, he's a fucking psychopath.
Well, man, I'm glad you brought his name up because you are stepping into a serious match with Charles Mason this coming weekend during Fight Club weekend at JCW, as you two are going to be locked in a steel cage, no one way in, one way out, only one of you can leave. What kind of brutality can the audience expect when you step in the cage with Mason?
This is my first steel cage match I've ever done in my career. And I am sure of one thing, and that is that I am willing to go to the furthest limits that I possibly can to ensure that fucking Charles Mason does not walk out on his own accord. So, like I said, I try. It's hard for me to try and be serious at times, but I think this is as serious as I've been in professional wrestling, because this is something else. So to say that, I'm nervous for it just because, it's intimidating, but I'm also 100% certain that I'm going to make sure that I do everything in my power to push the limits and walk out, because fuck Charles Mason. It's going to be fucking brutal. I know that. It's going to be brutal.
And I look forward to the brutality, and I wish you luck in that endeavor. And I mean, also, I gotta wish luck to Billy Starks, who will be tangling with his goons alongside the Duke of Hardcore, John Wayne Murdoch.
Yes, we love Billy. Shout out to Billy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I gotta say, she probably has the best possible partner she can have to take on a couple crazies like Bam and Slade.
Yeah, 100%. She picked a good partner.
Man, once the dust settles on Charles Mason and you can finally put that to bed, who else on the JCW roster do you have your eyes on in the future?
I definitely want to go against Ja C again. I think Ja C is really talented. I think he's one of the best. I think he's a great promo. So definitely Ja C. But I just want everyone and anyone. I want to be able to prove that, I'm one of the best too, and I feel like sometimes that gets lost in translation with, like the fits I put out, or, the silly videos, or I talk about shitting myself at Home Depot a lot on Twitter. So I feel like that, like, people just assume that that's just all I am. So I just want all the competition. Give me everyone.
And I gotta say too, I mean, you brought up, kind of the fun end of Everett Connors, but I mean, to me, I think that's probably one of the best tools because, lull your opponents in with this expectation about you being a goof and then just take them by surprise in the ring,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true.
Yeah, we've talked about some of your battles over the year, but I mean, which matches in particular do you look back on most fondly and over this year?
Over this year, definitely the Janella one, because that one it was really a confident booster, and my confidence just soared after that, just because I was like, all right, if I can hang with Janella and do this at on such a big stage, I'll be all right. I don't know why I would ever have to doubt myself again. And then the first match with Davey, I think also that was one of the probably most nervous. I don't know if I've ever been as nervous for a match than I was with Davey, just because you hear stories about Davey, about how intense he is and all that, and then halfway through, and I'm out there and I'm feeling it, and the crowd's into it. All that just self-doubt and everything just washed away. But definitely the Janella and the Davey Richards match for sure. I don't know. It would be those two.
And two great matches to watch back. But man, as we sort of turn the corner on this interview, Everett, you mentioned earlier the audition videos that you film in your car, but How did these audition videos come to be?
So there are a few things. Like I said, when I was doing just St. Louis Anarchy, they were just letting me just be me. And so originally, okay, I guess they originally came from, there was a wrestler. His name is David X. And he was like a backyarder. And he's a great guy. And I was like, oh, let me wrestle. I want to wrestle you. So I just started like cutting these like really just these promos that I weren't me. I was being me. I was just saying shit that I would normally say. And then they kind of just took off. And then that was like the fun side. I was like, all right, this fun side is people seem to enjoy it. And there's so like when I realized that part, like people like the fun side, heart, the light-hearted stuff. I was like, okay. And then there's, I don't know if you're familiar. There's these two guys on YouTube, Jake and Amir, and they just I think their videos are the funniest. I love their stuff, and so I would watch them constantly, and ideas would run through my head. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll just start making just stupid videos. I'll just start making videos just for the hell of it, just because they were funny to me. I found them funny, so I was like, oh, I'll just put them out. And so I just started doing it, and it kind of just took off from there. I mean, that's all it was. It was just me being fucking weird and sitting in my car and just like watching Jake and Amir, because I think those two are the funniest.
Yeah, man, you brought up Jake and Amir, and that really brings me back to like when I started getting into YouTube and I found out about them and College Humor and all that kind of comedy, and it just it really takes me back to that point in time.
Man, they're great. I love them. I think they're hilarious, and I still go back and watch all their stuff. I think they're funny, and they have a good podcast. But yeah, I think those two, just because they were so short too, and they were so funny, and they would just say like the stupidest shit. Like none of it ever really made sense, and I think that's why it was also really funny. Like Amir just being a fucking weirdo. Like it was just hilarious.
Oh man, always the best kind of humor. But what's one thing that you always keep in your gear or your travel bag?
I keep it on my phone. It's a video. So whenever I switch phones, I always make sure I have it. There's a video I got from a friend when I first started like training. It was a video from Johnny Gargano. And because I was a huge Johnny Gargano fan, and I had my buddy was there for I can't remember if it was in New York or where it was at, but he was there for WrestleMania weekend or whatever, and he saw Gargano, and he got a video of Gargano just kind of like giving me just a little like pep talk. It was like 20 seconds, but it was the coolest thing ever to me, and I watch it before like big matches or whatever. If I'm feeling like nervous or whatever, I'll just watch it. So I always have that. I don't keep anything in like my gear bag or anything like that. I always make sure I have that video.
And I mean, something like that too. That's just as important as say, like your good luck pair of socks or something that you got to have before or after match for like, just good luck's sake. Just like a good talking to like that is always do you good.
Yeah. It calms my nerves. But yeah, it's awesome. It definitely is that. Like I said, whenever I have an important match or whatever, not all of them are important, but whenever I have like a big match and I'm starting to feel the nerves, I'll pop that on 20 seconds and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Man, when you're out on the road, what's one spot that you always have to stop at? Be it food, be it a rest area, be it amusements. What's just one space on the road that you have to stop at when you're traveling?
Quick Trip gas station. I think the Quick Trip gas station. I don't know if it's just a St. Louis thing, but before I leave, even if it's before I leave St. Louis, as long as I hit one Quick Trip on the road, that's it. I think that's my go-to.
Now, is that like a Wawa or a Sheets?
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly like it's exactly like that. I think honestly it's more of just a St. Louis thing. But I've only been to like Wawa and Sheets, I think both like one time.
Now, I know the argument is always between which of those two is better, but if you had to pick one, which would you say?
Quick Trip. I guess okay. Out of those two, probably Sheets. I think it's Sheets. Yeah, it's Sheets. And then, but out of all three, I would take Quick Trip. Out of all three.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing quite like kind of the regional stops you can get.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now, when you're out on the road, what do you tend to listen to?
Man. Playlist wise, I got a lot of Polo G. Drake. I always got to listen to Drake. Corday, Roddy Ricch, Future. Let's see, Nipsey Hussle, Lil Yachty, Rod Wave. I mean, I can keep going. T Grizzly, Lil Durk, Lil Skies, 22GZ, Big Sean. My playlist is just basic. It's a lot of Drake, and a lot of Lil Durk.
Nice. Now, do you have any guilty pleasure music that you like to play on the road while you're traveling?
Yeah. I like Justin Bieber. I think his stuff is good. Even his old stuff, I think is pretty good. And then I really like, let me see if I can find, so I have my phone right here. Olivia Rodrigo. I think she's good. I listen to her. I've just been getting into some like more like I guess I would say emo. Although I don't know much about emo, but like My Chemical Romance, I've never really listened to them until now. I guess another guilty pleasure would be Katy Perry. I think Katy Perry's really good too. I love her.
I gotta agree with you there, man.
She's fantastic.
Now, if you could choose any superpower to have, what would you choose and why?
Man, probably the ability to fly because I hate traffic. Cannot stay in traffic. Traffic is the worst. Being from St. Louis, I don't really have to deal with a lot of traffic. Like, I'll be in traffic for maybe like 20 minutes, and I think it's the worst thing ever. But then, like, going to LA and then being in New York, the traffic there is the worst thing. Like, the stop and go, and then the stop. Like, I was just in LA, and there's the venue was like, I don't know, maybe like 7-8 miles from the hotel, and it took the Uber an hour, like 15 minutes to get there because traffic was so bad.
Sheesh.
So yeah, the ability to fly so I could just skip all that would be fantastic.
Yeah, as a Bostonian, man, I hear you about traffic because we have the worst traffic that I've ever been in.
Man, I don't know how do you drive?
Oh yeah, before pre-pandemic, I had to go into the office every day, and like my house to the office was like 8 miles, but it would take about an hour to get to my desk, pretty much.
Oh, that just sounds so brutal. And you did that every day?
Pretty much, like being able to work from home and being like away from office for the past year plus has been like a blessing.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that doesn't even. Yeah, traffic is the worst to me. I hate it.
Yeah, if I can undercut traffic in any way, I'd go flying also.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, Everett, do you have any pets at home?
I do.
Nice.
I have 2 dogs and a cat.
Oh, sweet. Are they any particular breeds or?
I got one. It's an Australian Shepherd mix with like a Border Collie, and then a French Bulldog.
Oh yeah, those breeds of dogs are absolutely adorable in my book.
Yes, the French dog, they're French Bulldogs. She's great. She's just a fucking asshole. She's an asshole, but I love her.
Oh man, that's how it always ends up being with dogs.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't end this interview before I brought up that, you know, you and Charly Evans are like the hot item in the wrestling world right now. But
Man.
I mean, how did you two start talking?
Man, I can go on and on about her, so this is gonna be long. We started talking, so it happened because of Fight Forever, the match with Janella. She saw it, and she like tweeted at me and said, like, this is like my audition to like have Everett Connors marry me or something like that. She like basically asked me to marry her, and then she just said like, let me know. And then the besties in the world, Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett, they were over in England. They did a tour there, and so they knew Charly because, you know, they were all over there at the time, and they stayed with her. And so she made that tweet. That was like January, and then she messaged Davey Vega and told Vega to tell her or tell me about her, which I already knew about her, but I didn't know that she like liked me or whatever. Like there was something mutual there. Like, but Vega never told me. Matt Fitchett told me, and so that was in February. Vega went that entire time without telling me. And then Matt Fitchett finally told me, and I DM'd her on February 21st. I still remember. And then ever since then, we talked every day. Like we've talked every day since then. But oh my God, I'm in love. I'm so in love with that girl. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so in love with her.
And I love to hear it, man. You know, I'm wishing the best for you in that endeavor, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man. Just the biggest smile, man. I love that girl so much. I could just keep going on, and I don't want to because I don't want to waste your time. But yeah, I love her so much.
Man, though, for real, it's been an absolute pleasure, Everett, to have you on for this interview. Please let the people know where we can find you, where we can support you. The floor is all yours, man.
Thank you. You can find me at Twitter at YeezyCon, and then you can find me on Instagram at Everett Connors 99. And those are pretty much the two social media platforms that I use.
And Everett, thank you so much again for coming by today. And thank you all for listening to another exclusive interview here on PW Ponderings. I'm James Lascuola, and I will see you all on the